Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. We are starting this video slightly differently. You're in my kitchen. George wants to say hello. I've just taken his collar off. He hates having his collar taken off. You must feel naked, huh? So you've joined me and George. George wants to say Merry Christmas to everybody and thank you so much for supporting his mummy on here. He's actually just watching for squirrels. It is pouring down today. Now, the reason the beginning of this video is slightly different is because we're doing something slightly different. I have got my Christmas hoodie on. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Do you guys remember I made this on this channel? And it fits again, which is great because it stopped fitting for a while. But in today's video, we're going back to Jesmonite. We're going back to Jesmonite because I said I was going to do a lot more Jesmonite this Christmas. And I haven't. I've ended up doing a lot more resin again, and I'm so sorry. But we are doing Jesmonite in today's video, and I thought it would be really nice to make some Christmassy homeware specifically for Christmas. And of course, if you don't celebrate Christmas, you can take these ideas and create something for your own event, whether it's Mother's Day, Easter, Eid, Diwali, any special occasion. You can take the ideas, take the concept of it, and then transform it and create something for your own reasons, right? But in today's video, we are doing Christmas. I am going to be using Jesmonite, but of course you can use any eco pouring medium, and I know so many of my friends here use so many different eco pouring mediums now. They are everywhere. The reason I'm doing this is because I have already pretty much laid out my Christmas table and how it's going to look this year. Now, we've got Tim's daughter and the grandchildren joining us for Christmas dinner. And then on Boxing Day, Tim and myself are going to be alone. Pajamas, food, all day. I'm going to show you my Christmas dining table right now. It's not finished. I know what I want to add to it, but let's have a look. If you follow my home channel, you will have already seen pretty much all of this. So I made these on Claire's Crafty Corner. They were the napkin ring holders and I'm using them, guys. I am using them. These are the Nicole mould baubles. I don't know whether to use these for tea lights on the actual day, but I'm thinking I might go down the tea light route. This is what we're looking like. So these are from B&M. This was from Marks and Spencer's or Next. This I just bought last week from Lidl's. Middle of Lidl, guys. Middle of Lidl. And it's absolutely gargantuously long. Our table, if you follow my home channel, you'll know that we just picked up this extra long table from our local furniture clearance. It's basically everything's secondhand, house clearance furniture. It's not a charity shop, but it is all secondhand. And this table was just £30. Absolute bargain. So this is what my table is looking like right now. So I got onto Amazon. I was thinking, I want serving dishes. I want like ramekins. I don't want to just put the mint sauce and apple sauce. These are two very common sauces in the UK for your Christmas dinner. I don't want to just put the jars on the tables with a spoon, which is what I've always done. I want to get a little bit fancy. And I bought some ramekins for that specific purpose. Now, these are from Amazon, readily available. I will link them down below. They're not Christmas, but they're red. So I just typed in red or green ramekins on Amazon and these came up absolutely stunning. Set of 6 red. They've got this beautiful pattern on them. Again, they're not Christmassy, but they're red, so they're gonna work. I got a set of 6 ramekins because sadly I could not just buy the 2 that I wanted, but I thought 2 down one side of the table, 2 down the other side of the table to house the mint sauce and the apple sauce. We don't do turkey in this house. We hate turkey, but so we don't do bread sauce basically either. And we don't really do any other sauces. It's really just mint sauce, apple sauce, and that's it. Then I thought, instead of just dumping the big canister of salt, We've always done it. Just like no salt, we've got no salt and pepper pots. Instead of just dumping the big container of salt and the big dollop of pepper, I'm gonna buy Christmassy salt and pepper pots. And I went straight to Amazon and oh my gosh. I mean, they're tiny. They're a lot smaller in real life than I thought they'd be, but they're sufficient. They're exactly what I needed. But how beautiful are these? I mean, they are absolutely stunning. Stunning. Just so gorgeous. Again, Amazon, got your salt, got your pepper, and the ramekins. So I'm just gonna dress the table up a bit. Now, here's the thing. I'm not gonna just put these on the table, and I'm not just gonna put these on the table. I'm going to create something from Jesmonite as holders, like trays, holders. We're also going to do some coasters and tie the whole table in together. Now, my biggest question was whether I do red or green. I mean, white would also work, but I'm thinking I'll stick to the red and green theme. And I think for the two ramekins, I'm going to put these on one tray and they're going to have a green background. And then for the salt and pepper pots, I'll do a little red base for those. Coasters, I think I'll keep it red. And yeah, I'm going to have a look basically through every mould I have got in my craft room, see what's going to work. And yeah, let's go. Here's what I have grabbed in my craft room. Now, we've got a whole selection. Some of the moulds, or most of the moulds, work perfectly for the ramekins that I got from Amazon. The salt and pepper pots, not so much. Whilst they are teeny tiny, itty bitty small, they're too big for my tea light holders. I went automatically to the Nicole mould 2 set of tea light, right? Because that would be perfect for salt and pepper. Pretty sure this is going to be too small. Now, I do have this one, if Nicole mould is not in your budget. I have this one from Shein. It was about £1. Pretty similar, but obviously cheaper plastic, thinner, and not as chunky and big. I'm going to make both. I think they're pretty much the same, to be honest, but we'll see if they fit. Now, if they don't fit, I was thinking we could individually, like, give them an individual house, right? So the salt and pepper could individually sit in its own little pot, and then those pots could sit on a tray. These are the trays from Molds and Shapes. You would have seen these all over my channel for a couple of years now. They fit perfectly with the ramekins, especially this one. I do want both ramekins together, so ideally I would make one tray for both ramekins, but this tray is perfect. Look how this fits in that gap, like so. I mean, stunning. And then we could have a little motif here or a Santa. I've still got these, haven't used them there. That would be gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to make 2 of these because I want the whole table to be accessible for a mint sauce and an apple sauce. So, but then I've got 6 ramekins, but I'm thinking this tray would be best right now. It could house both ramekins, so making 2 of these trays, so there's 2 ramekins down each end of the table. Then for the salt and pepper pots, yeah, I'm going to pour one just to see. I'm thinking this tray here might be perfect. This was sent to me. Do you guys remember from Resin? I did the eco-friendly biodegradable resin that you put in the oven. This mold came from them and it's absolutely perfect size for, it's just, I mean, it's bigger than the salt and pepper pots, but it's kind of perfect just to sit on the table and house the salt and pepper pots like so. Now, I was thinking about these trays as well, just in case Molds and Shapes molds are not in your budget. These trays are perfect. They're from Amazon, cheap as chips, although I will say these thicker ones, like these, thicker plastic, I would definitely spend a bit more to get these because I've bought some about a year ago. I bought some from Shein. Oh, they're rubbish. Like absolutely thin, paper thin rubbish, awful molds and not as big as these. The thing is, with these generic tray molds that you've seen me use thousands of times on my channel, they don't fit the ramekins. The ramekins are too big. Now, you can buy smaller ramekins, right? So you could just buy what you need to fit the mold you need, but that's an option, definitely an option for the salt and pepper pot, because again, the salt and pepper pot would fit these perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Now, I also remembered these. This was a Christmas tree duo that I got from Shein. I was already worried about these. They were super flexible and really, really squishy. And lo and behold, they turned out disastrous. You will see the results, but they literally collapsed on themselves under the weight of Jesmonite. I've also got some stars now. I've also got this mould. This was sent to me a while back by ClaireCCmold. You guys will remember it if you've been with me that long. I only want from the bottom to here. This is a giant candlestick, but it is designed for wax, you see. So you're meant to fill up the entire thing with wax, and it comes with a candle in it, if that makes sense. I don't need the candle section. I just want the candlestick section. So first up, we're just going for it, 280 grams liquid of Jesmonite AC100. Now, at this point, I've got a whole host of molds that I can be filling up for my Christmas tablescape, so I figured I would just pour and mix however much, and then work out what that does, what that serves, what mold that fills. At this point, I'm not worrying about measurements. I'm literally just mixing up a ton of Jesmonite. So 280 grams liquid, 700 grams powder, and we are going for it. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, sorry that intro was a bit long. Hopefully by now I would have put a timestamp on there, so if you don't want to listen to me waffle on about everything. The thing to remember here is I am using what I've got for what I need. And the key thing to take away from this video is that you can pretty much make anything you've got for your Christmas table. Anything. So if you think to yourselves, right, I really would like everyone to have a coaster, then grab a coaster mold. And it doesn't have to be molds and shapes if that's not in your budget. You can find really lovely coaster molds online. Now, if you're thinking at this point, Claire, I thought you wanted the trays to be green to hold the red ramekins. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Do not ask me what I was thinking. I think I was overwhelmed at this point. My entire dining table was taken up with molds, with stuff, with colours, with tools. And yeah, so first up, we've got a red tray. It was never in the plan, but we made it. There it is. Now we do have loads of Jesmonite AC100 left over, so we are going to be pouring that into the 4 coasters. So I was already happy. I've already got 4 coasters. I'm making 6 coasters, so I'm making 4 red and 2 green. And yeah, so there you go. We had enough of the red to make the tray and to make 4 coasters. Now, I'm not going into too much detail in this video about the measuring, the mixing, the makeup of everything. I'm simply sharing with you all of the things that I decided to make to set my Christmas table and just make it extra, extra yummy and delicious. It's very, very Home Alone, I have to say. Scraping the bowl clean, I managed to get perfect amount for all 4 coasters. Now, I am filming down in my living room on my dining table, which is a cheap. We've just got it from a secondhand shop. And boy, oh boy, did I make such a mess. Make sure when you've got a big mold, like the molds and shapes molds, that you've got it on something so that you can actually shimmy, shake it, whack it, bash it. Because if that silicone mold was directly down on that dining table, it would cling to the table, like it would cling, like it's clinging to a rock. Very, very hard to shimmy, shake and tap. So make sure it's down on something, whereas little molds like this don't really matter. It's not going to cling to the table and you can shake without it sticking. Coaster's done. Super happy with the way they've come out. Very, very Christmassy red. Now, They are a little bit marked. I left these in the mould for about 45 minutes. You really do want to demould after 30 minutes to avoid any sweat marks. And I'm just going to place them on the cake cooling rack. Now, these are cake cooling racks from Amazon. They're stackable and they're perfect. So again, just put them on here to fully dry out and cure overnight. The red tray came out great, and the red star, loved the red star, absolutely loved it. Next up, we are just mixing up another batch. Again, not really measuring, or well, I'm measuring, but I'm not really thinking about how much I'm going to need. I am literally just mixing and measuring Jesmonite AC100 part A, and then the powder is times 2.5, and this is going to be the green. So again, I didn't think, right, I need 800 grams for this mold. I just went for it. I poured a ton, and I figured what I don't use will go into another mold because I've got loads of molds sitting here. Now, the colours I'm using in today's video are from Homeware Design Co. You would have heard about them on my channel. I honestly adore their colours, like so many colours, and this is my favourite green. This is called Zen green. Now, if you just put in one single drop of this pigment, you'll get the most beautifully calming, almost spa-like green. But if you put quite a lot in, you'll get this beautiful deep dark green. There are so many greens in the Homeware Design Co range, but this is my absolute favourite. So that's what we're going with. We're finally pouring a green tray, which is what I wanted in the first place. So again, it's down on this piece of cardboard wrapped in plastic that, funnily enough, comes from the Moulds and Shapes packages. And it's just easy to really give it a tap, give it a bash, give it a whack, and give it a shimmy and a shake on the table. Now, this is the mould I told you guys was sent to me from Resin. It's going to be perfect for my salt and pepper shakers. Now, I'm pretty sure I was going to do this in red, but here we are. Here we are. We're going with the flow, and we're making copious amounts of mess that honestly was quite overwhelming on the day. And yeah, my poor new secondhand trashed table got even more trashed. But again, just had enough of the Jesmonite AC100 to fit into this tray. So it's not filled all the way to the top, but it's filled enough to do the job I need it to do. Shimmy, shake, tap, tap, bash it, left, right, up and down, making sure that that Jesmonite has got into every single nook and cranny, and we've got no air pockets in there, and we're happy. Now, off camera, last night, I actually poured this. I don't need that candle bit. You see what I'm saying? This whole mold is designed to be filled with wax, so you burn it from the top to the bottom. A giant candle, if you will. Now, I said yes to receiving this mold because I knew I wouldn't use it with wax, but I would use it with Jesmonite and make candle holders, right? So I've sawn off, I made two, and I just wanted to see how easy it was to saw off the candle section. Guys, so easy. And now that I've made them, I can now work it so that I never need to pour the candle section. So at this point, I am making a ton more Jesmonite. We've got 600 grams of liquid in here, 1,520 grams of powder. This is when I wished I put it in a bigger bowl. I mean, I've sped this up for you, but trust me when I say I was going so slowly, trying to incorporate all of the powder into the liquid before going for it with my whisk, because boy, you can see the mess. You can see how much powder flew out of the sides, and oh man, I really did need a bigger bowl. But of course, I don't think ahead. I just pour. I just weigh it out and pour it, and I just don't think of the consequences. But here we are. Now I'm going to make 2 green candle holders for the dining table. Again, they could be any colour you want. The white ones that I've already made, the natural ones, they're either going to be my forever fireplace candle holders,
or I'll give them to my sister and she can do what she needs to do to drill the holes in the top. I do have a plan though. I do have a plan for the candle holders, so do stay tuned. I've got more Zen green going in here. I want everything tying together, everything tied in, so everything is matchy. Red and green very much throughout. We are not going off of that color scheme. So again, remembering that you don't need all of these molds. You just need to use what you've got and work out what you can create for your Christmas table. But equally, whatever colors your scheme is, right? What are your Christmas colors? Let me know in the comment section, actually. What are your go-to Christmas colors? Are you gold and black? Are you navy blue? Are you red and green like myself? Are you silver and gold? You know, this could work if you dust the mold with gold and silver mica. Jesmonite does quite a good job at picking up mica, so that could work as well. So one green tray down. This is going to house the 2 red ramekins, and then of course we've got that little tray for the salt and pepper pot. Guys, this video is a little bit all over the place because quite frankly it was a crazy couple days getting all this put together, so it's not as aesthetically neat as it might be if I were up in my craft room and you had a beautiful backdrop. There's none of that happening in today's video. This is a real practical getting stuff done for what I need to get done. Right, the candle is, oh my gosh, what a beauty. Now we've got plenty here to fill this right to the very top. Lots and lots of tapping on this one, although I have to say they have designed this mold so well that it hasn't got any crazy scary lips where air bubbles might get caught underneath. So even just a few taps and you really don't have to worry about air bubbles with this mold at all. Now, the second green tray is getting poured with what is left in this bowl. And again, this is going to house the 2 red ramekins. Now, when I said at the beginning of the video about the ramekins, the ones I bought come in white, red, and black. But, excuse me, frog in my throat. If you go on Amazon, you can type in ramekins and you can buy the ramekins in so many different sizes, right? I got quite big ramekins, but they can come much smaller, which is where the smaller molds come into play, right? Your standard Amazon tray mold that we all know and love. You could use those quite easily if you get smaller ramekins. So again, this mold from Resin does the job. It's just a gorgeous shape, gorgeous size. Have got a few marks on there. The Jesmonite has picked it up. A little bit of damp as well. Now, this is how I got the candle off of all of the candlesticks. So if you happen to have this mold, or if that mold is in your budget, then you'll definitely need a saw. You'll only need a saw one time, because I'll show you a hack of how we don't ever have to fill that candle section again. Second green tray didn't come out as neat as I wanted it to. It had some sweat marks. I think because I was filming this in my living room, I was getting busy doing other things and leaving the Jesmonite way longer than I normally would. I was definitely getting some sweat marks on those trays, but luckily they actually cleared up, and they don't always clear up. So don't know what happened with this candle. We've got something in here, like a big hunk of debris. It feels like plastic. It didn't feel like excess powder. So yeah, that was a bit gutting. But here's the thing. Demolding this is a dream. You do get this seam spillage on some of them, and I suppose the more you use the mold, the more you'll get it, because you're just making the mold a total mess. You do need to keep on top of cleaning the mold, but once that's off, you can just give that a light little sand down the sides. And then I used my big saw. All I did was saw a couple of lines into the base where the base meets the candle holder. I didn't saw all the way through, just like this, and then pop. They snap apart, and they snapped apart on all of the candles that I made. Now, the beauty of this is we're going to keep this candle section and we're going to wrap it in cling film. This is the original candle section, so from the white ones that I made. Going to wrap it in cling film, put this back in the mold where it came from, and now we can just fill the mold over and over and over and over and just get what we need from it, right? We just get what we need from it. We don't need to saw off any more candle sections. And yeah, absolute hack, absolute game changer. I'm not going to lie, I was toying with the idea of filling the mold with silicone up to this point. Like, I was literally racking my brain, like, how am I gonna do this? I don't want to have to saw this section off every single time, but I would love to keep the mold intact so that it's a fully functioning mold. If at any point in the future I did want to fill it with wax and make a giant candle. And this is the best of both worlds. This keeps the mold fully intact. It doesn't destroy it with silicone if I was to pour silicone down into that section. And yeah, it worked. An absolute dream. The second candle demolded beautifully, so much neater than the first one because I didn't have to saw it off. Just use these bulldog clips to hold it all together. And then I filled it with even more Jesmonite. Guys, I went through my Jesmonite like you would not believe. I am not sponsored by Jesmonite AC100. I buy all my own Jesmonite. And the last time I bought Jesmonite, I bought it from MB Fiberglass here in the UK, and I ordered an absolute ton. And I believe I ordered their largest package, which was about £250 or £500. And guys, when I tell you I've got enough to last me for the next year easily, if I did videos every single day, it would last me for the next year. So just do be aware that Jesmonite does have a shelf life, and I'm probably going to go way over that because I've bought way too much. But here we are, second candlestick. The green is going in now. At this point, this was the moment that I had completely used up all of the Jesmonite liquid that I had in the living room. So I didn't fill the candle to the top. I set the Cricut off, and we are now finally creating our coasters. Now it's at this point I have to tell you that I poured one Christmas tree off camera, and the whole mold fully collapsed in on itself. Jesmonite all over my table. I ended up having to scrape it off my table, put the whole mold in a cup to hold it before I could get even just one tree. So I decided to scrap it. But look at these coasters. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love them. We have got Deck the Halls and all of the yumminess. Now this sticker was designed for that small green tray for the salt and pepper pot, but it was way too big. I got my measurements wrong, way too big. So I decided to slap it on the red tray that we accidentally made at the beginning of the video. Next up, we've got the Merry and Bright. I absolutely love this. I absolutely love it. I think Deck the Halls is my favorite little phrase. These are readily available phrases and files on the Cricut design space. I just typed in Christmas phrase and they all came up. And of course, then I thought, oh, Deck the Halls, let me type that in and see. Now the little green tray that's going to house the salt and pepper is just going to get some snowflakes because how pretty do they look? I'm only putting them on one side of the tray because the other side of the tray is of course going to be completely hidden. They're going to be hidden, right? So I just didn't bother. You could of course fill the whole entire tray. I actually think these would look gorgeous on the coasters as well, but I just wanted to do something a little bit different. And I decided snowflakes it was. I did have one snowflake still on the transfer tape that I just didn't want to put on the tray. I felt like this was enough. You know, 5 is a good number and the salt and pepper pots fit perfectly fine. It would be nice to have a little cavity for them to sit into, but here we are. Now, all of this is going to get 2 coats of sealant. That includes the trays that the ramekins are going to go on. I didn't put that on film because boy, this video is long enough. It's long enough. But 2 coats of sealer for everything you make for your Christmas table. Don't worry too much about the candlesticks. They don't really need sealing, but oh gosh, I absolutely love it all. It has all come together exactly as I saw it in my mind. We've got the green trays for the ramekins. Maybe they should get a little something on them. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. I feel like even just, you know, using those snowflakes and decorating the ramekin trays with the snowflakes would tie it in together even more. But again, we've got the gingerbread, we've got the gorgeous napkins that I bought from Amazon, we've got the gingerbread men napkin ring holders that I made here on my channel, that mold from Moulds and Shapes. We've got 2 Christmas trees because I gave up because I'm not working with a mould that keeps collapsing, but that's what you get when you buy cheap silicone. Yeah, honestly, I absolutely love it. Everyone's got their own coaster. They've got easy access to the applesauce and the mint sauce in those ramekin trays. Now let's talk about the candlesticks. These will need sanding down. How are we going to do it? We're going to sand them down, and you could either A, drill a tea light sized hole, B, drill a tapered hole, or do what I think I'm going to do and use this single tea light mould. Look at this. Perfection. Absolute perfection. The reason I've not done it for this video is because my plan was to drill holes in them. And I thought, why am I doing that? Why am I going to all that extra trouble? Now, you don't have to drill holes if you're an adult and you live in an adult safe space and there's no children running around. You could just sand the surfaces of those and use wax to help your tapered candles stick to the candlesticks, and then just burn them down. Let them burn down. Let them drip. I just can't do that because we're going to have children around, so they do need to be as safe as possible. And they're so heavy, and I'm confident that our little ones will not, pick them up and play with them. So my plan next is to create 2 little singular tea light holder molds and stick them on top once the surfaces are sanded down. But let me know your thoughts. What else would you add to this table? I mean, like I said, they are looking messy right now, but they just need to be sanded flat. And then I need to stick on the singular tea light holder. Also, this is the height difference. You remember I didn't fill up the second one, and I quite like that there is a height difference. It just gives them some differences, you know. It's not like generically equal, and yeah. Love. Let me know your thoughts. What else would you add? I really would love Christmas trees running down the center of the table, or even, you know what, even the bottle brush trees at this point. This is the table runner that you saw at the beginning of the video, but I turned it over to just be red. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I hope you've got some inspiration from this video somewhere, from even just one thing. I hope it's inspired you to look at your decor, look at your Christmas decor and think, what could I actually physically use that's a practical use for Christmas Day? As a whole, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section. But also, just to know, Jesmonite AC100 is not food safe. That is why I've not made bowls, dishes, plates, or anything as such. It is not food safe. It has not been tested for food safety. Now, I do know that some people use food safe sealant or food safe waxes, like beeswax and things. Honestly, for me, it's just not, can't be bothered. Like, I'd rather buy ramekins that can go in the dishwasher and then create a tray to hold those ramekins. I feel like I need some Christmas spoons though. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you feel inspired, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.